Welcome back, everybody, to the Search Show 24/7, and this is Legend of Korra, Episode 4, entitled Civil Wars Part 2. So, let's get right into it. Alright, guys, Part 2 of the Civil Wars story arc. Now, this is a very great episode to really tie in some loose ends that happened last week. As you saw my last week's review, I really enjoyed last week's review. Last week's episode, I thought it told a great family type story, and just like the issues that's going on with Korra and her family, and Tenzin, and his part of his family, like with his brothers and sisters, and that all really came to a head this episode. Now, last week's episode, we have that very, shocking turn to where Unalaq basically arrests Korra and Korra's dad and mom because they so-called tried to kill him, which we all know that wasn't true, but we all knew like he's a bad guy anyway, and he's out for more. He's out to gain something, and his intentions are not really right. And what was so frustrating about that is we know that his intentions are not right, but Korra doesn't see that really at first because, the issues with her father and stuff, and, being a teenage girl and having, trying to rebel against like whatever your dad tells you that's right and wrong. So I understood that part, but it was frustrating that we all knew what was happening, but Korra couldn't really, see through it because either her ego or just being like a teenage girl. But like I said, it really comes to a head at this because now that her dad and mom are now on trial, and the judge wants them to, be executed, but Unalaq says, no, we're not going to execute them. We're just going to banish them forever and like have them be in prison forever. And that kind of makes him seem like, oh, he's the understanding uncle, so he's not that bad, to where Korra can still be on his side. Say, well, you're not that bad because you don't want my parents to be executed and stuff. So he played it right, but it kind of ended up biting him in the ass later because Korra finds out some information about Unalaq, and how he had this grand like master scheme plan like all along, and how he was the one that banished Korra's father from the get-go, and how he just wants to be chief and have all this power. So once she finds this out and finds out that her dad is like on a ship like going to the north to be banished forever, she and Team Avatar devised this plan to do like a breakout and break her father out. So that was really, really good, and that was a very great part of the story, to where you see now that, oh, now she sees what we all see, what the audience see, and now she's back, and now she can like fix her mistakes and save her dad, and kick Unalaq's ass because he is an asshole, and it sucks. It really does that he'll treat like his own brother like that just to gain power, and have like all this power. So that really shows you what power can do to family and stuff like that. And it just has a great contrast, because when you see like the brother and brother like sibling rivalry, and then you go to Tenzin and his family rivalry, and how they don't agree on stuff like that. So I always like those kind of contrasts in this story arc. It just shows that all families go through that bickerness, and all family members have like points where they're at their low and they don't agree with each other, but you can either fix it or you can just go crazy like Unalaq does with his brother, and tries to get his brother banished and killed and stuff like that. But Tenzin really understands that, okay, maybe I let my ego, or I let my aspirations of my father get in the way of how my brother and my sister feels about my dad, and that at the end of the day we're still like family, so we can all resolve it. So I like that they all were adults about it, and they figured out that, okay, you were right, or I was wrong, and I was wrong and you were right, and they kind of patched things up. That made it really enjoyable, because you don't want it to just be drug out for too long, to where they're never going to resolve the conflict that they that they've been going through. And I'm glad that it took 2 episodes and they didn't drag it out too long. So it was great writing. I thought it was good that they all resolved their issues with their dad and stuff, and they can all get back to being, just a happy little Avatar type family. Now, another part of this story, which is, you got to have your comedy parts. There's a lot of comedy in this, and at first I was getting a little nervous because it started off really, really um, comedy centric. So I was like, oh, I hope they don't go too heavy on the comedy, but they kind of dialed it back towards like the halfway point of this episode. So that was good, but you gotta love like the whole story arc with Bolin and Eska, and how Bolin's still trying to figure out, like, yo, I'm trying to break up with this crazy ass chick, but it's hard. And he really finds a way to where he tells her the truth, like, yo, it's not really working out, and it still backfires on him to the point where she's like, yo, we need to get married and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, this chick is really crazy, you know what I mean? So that was really funny. And seeing that even when he tells the truth, he still gets bit in the ass about the whole situation. He still gets forced to marry the chick. And I like the fact where she tells him, like, when I leave, you need to bow down to me. And he's like adorable and he cries and stuff. So I thought that was really funny. And how Aubrey Plaza, when she does the voice of Eska, how she really puts her deadpan humor into it. So I really, really enjoyed it. And when she finally breaks up with Bolin and she has that massive freak out and she's like chasing him like in the water and stuff, like really pissed off. That was really funny in the episode. That was like a nice way to end a very tense episode. Overall, I thought the episode was really, really good. It really concluded everything that happened in part one of last week. So now that that's kind of out the way, we have more time to really expand on stuff, because now it's really picking up. Like I told people before, don't hate on book two right now. Give it time to build. It takes a while for stories like this to build, especially when it's good writing, because it is good writing. You have to understand that Korra is a teenager, so you're not going to always agree with certain things, and she's going to do certain things that teenage girls would do. She's going to act like a brat sometimes, but at the end of the day, she's going to get back to that Avatar form, and she's going to still be a badass. And I thought the action was great, especially during the rescue part. So overall, it was still like really, really good. I really enjoyed part two. I think I enjoyed part two more than I enjoyed part one. Maybe because a lot of stuff was resolved, but a lot of stuff opened up. So can't wait for next week's episode. What did you guys think? Please like this video, comment, subscribe, tell me what you thought. And as always, this is the Search Show 24/7. Be easy.